What's up, everybody? Hope you are having a great day. So, today I'm going to be talking about what I would do if my car broke down and I didn't have any money. Okay, this is part of a series that I'm putting together, focused on problem solving. Because as a productivity coach, my main goal is to help people solve problems. So, what better way than to use real world examples of how I would solve problems, some big, some small, and just the thinking of a coach, my thinking when I run into a problem. Okay. So, if I had a vehicle that broke down and I did not have money, the way that I operate in life is I look as far into the future as possible. Okay. I look as far into the future as possible and I say, okay, what are the likely outcomes of this situation? So if I have a vehicle that has broken down, chances are I probably knew that vehicle was on its last leg or that there was something wrong with it. Okay, let's be real. You know if your vehicle has some issues with it. As a matter of fact, there are sensors on it that typically tell you, hey, you need an oil change. Hey, check your engine soon. Hey, your lights are out, right? There's typically things that warn you, right? And you should be taking your vehicle to get it inspected and checked once, twice a year at that. Anyways, and doing regular maintenance. But outside of all that, okay? If my car broke down and I didn't have any money, my solution would be first, how far is my source of income? How far is my job? Right? If my job is within 10 to 15 minutes of where I live, I'm either walking or I'm getting a bike or riding the bus. I'm walking, getting a bike, or riding the bus. Why? Because during that time, I'm going to humble myself. I'm going to humble myself. I'm not going to focus on getting a new car right away. I'm going to humble myself and say, you know what? How did I get in a situation where my vehicle, which I knew was on its last leg, broke down, isn't operational? I don't have the money to repair it. It probably would cost more to repair than to just replace it with a totally different car. How did I get in this situation? Well, I probably got in this situation because I wasn't thinking far enough into the future and I wasn't taking it seriously. So now when I'm walking, I can live without that car payment, or I can live without that car and that gas. I can use the money that I was putting towards the car to start saving for a new one. Maybe it takes a month, maybe it takes 3 months, 6 months, a year, right, to get to a place to where I have an operational vehicle. But here's the thing, right? We now live in a society where you don't even really need a car if you live close enough to work, right? If I live 15, 20 minutes from my job, and I'm not talking about 15, 20 minutes in terms of a car ride. I'm saying if it was a 15, 20-minute walk, okay? If I live close enough to walk, I would walk or get a bike, ride a bus. But one of the things that I think that we don't think about enough is, what is this situation likely to turn into in the near future, right? So I've had vehicles in the past where they've broken down and I've had to take the bus or I had to walk places and I was without a vehicle, right? And that whole time, I still found a way to get to where I needed to go. Oftentimes, we spend more money on our vehicles than we can actually afford. I know there's some people that spend more on their vehicles than they do their rent, their mortgage in some cases. And these car payments can get expensive, right? They can get very expensive. So for me personally, if my car breaks down, I'm getting a bike, riding a bus, or walking. And I'm going to take that time to reflect and think about how I can prevent this from happening again. So this is how you upgrade. This is how you level up. Okay, this time my car, I really wasn't keeping up with the maintenance, right? When they said I needed new tires, I was like, I don't need new tires. When I should have been getting the oil change, I went out and bought something I went out and ate, shouldn't have done that. When I should have been getting the spark plugs replaced, I used that on the Christmas money. I went clothes shopping, right? So many times we can narrow down where the issue happened at and we can fix it, especially when it comes to vehicles. Now, this part is important. If your vehicle breaks down and you can still get to where you want to go, all you have to do is walk. You need to figure out a timeline for when you want another vehicle, how you're going to pay for it, and how you're going to get that money, right? That's what I would be focusing on, because that's what I did. When I was out of a vehicle, I said, okay, what are the prices of the types of vehicles that I would want? All right. Am I trying to get something that looks good to everybody, or am I trying to get from point A to point B? How much money can I reasonably set aside to save up for this? All right. And when do I want to get this vehicle? Those are three important things. When am I going to get the vehicle? How much money do I need to save? And what kind of vehicle? All right. And once you put that plan together, now you can focus in on what you need to do to get the vehicle. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about if your job or your source of income is too far away to where you can't walk and you can't really bicycle. Maybe you're not in the shape, or your city doesn't have the type of roads and things like that to where you can't bicycle to work. Okay. If your car breaks down and your job is too far for you to do those things, one, I would highly consider getting a bus pass. Okay. Most cities have a bus system, a rail system, something like that. I would highly consider getting a bus. The next thing is, if you live far away from your job, how much is that job actually paying you? I would really reconsider that, because when you had a vehicle, it was worth it. But if you end up spending, let's say, for instance, you're making $15 an hour, but your job is 10 miles away. It takes you 30 minutes to drive there, right? Now, if you end up having to take a Uber every day from work and back, does that job still make sense, as opposed to you getting a job that's maybe 5-10 minutes away, that's a lower pay, but you don't have to do that? Right? That's where I would be thinking, because sometimes we get these jobs and when we have the car, it's okay. But then when we don't have it, now all of a sudden we end up spending more than we're actually making, or the math doesn't add up to where it even makes sense for you to still be working there. Okay. So that's what I would be thinking about. How can I get to work and secure this income? How much is it going to cost me? Because now getting to work, there's an added cost. Before, it was just gas, right? Now, what is it? So really think about those costs. So that's where my mindset goes as a coach, and focusing on solutions is, what do I have to do to get a new vehicle if I want one? And if, during that time frame, I'm not able to get to work. Well, if you're not able to get to work, in a cost-effective way, then you can't work there. You can't work there. You need to find somewhere closer to work, save up money, because truth be told, if you are in a place where you don't have any money and your car breaks down, you either weren't saving up the way you should have been, or you weren't making enough money to save up, right? And if you're at a job where you can't save money after all your bills, that job probably isn't worth it, right? It's probably not worth it, to be real. Now, I know that there's some people that are going to say, oh, well, it pays high enough, but I'm in so much debt and da 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 da. Okay, well, if that's the case, then go on and live without this car payment. Go on and get rid of some other stuff. You need to do something, right? You need, whether that's you going and taking the bus for a week, or bumming a ride from somebody trying to get, I'll give you $10-$20 here or whatever, saving up a paycheck or two and just getting you just a rundown car to where you can get back and forth, or getting a rental car, right? Get you a rental car if that works. But this is just an exercise in problem solving, just to show you, when you focus on the problem, you don't get anywhere. When you focus on solutions, that creates action. If you got any value out of this video, let me know. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Till next time, I'm Coach